Hey guys, I'm back. Pulled up the latest runs back as far as I could go, 300 frames on these three here. I only went back 120 frames because these are differently calibrated, so they roughly match up to the same time frame as what I'm showing you up here. These three are all synced together pretty much, time-wise, and these two are synced together, and they run different calibrations, so they're not going to exactly totally match up to what you're seeing up here. But one thing I did notice, remember I mentioned that faux bow shock that's being developed behind the Earth? Well, if you watch this line here, you can see, so when the pressure gets big behind the Earth, this line pretty much squares up in order to fight it off, and then you see, of course, these closed field lines, which are really polar crap streamers. See these black ones? And whenever the pressure gets too big, they end up closing, making the reconnection back to the Earth. Normally, that's why you see the auroras on the planet, is when they have closed field lines, when we're having a solar storm, and the energy gets funneled back to the Earth. That's why you see the auroras at the poles. But now, I mean, this is crazy how far out these things are extending these closed field lines. These are Earth's radii. That's 80 Earth's radii. So over here is 100 Earth's radii, which would be close to about 400,000 miles. And these closed field lines are going out well beyond that now to try to ward off this pressure. I noticed seems like there's more energy leaking in on these Foulk radiation belts on this run as opposed to the last couple days that I did. So Frankie Maw had a good question on a video yesterday. How long can our grids hold up to all this extra energy being applied? And I don't know. That's a good question, because certainly they really haven't done anything to really harden the grids to protect against an EMP or all this extra electrons being bled in. So that could definitely create an overload. And I think that's why you see some transformers blowing here and there. Haven't seen any lately posted, but as far as missing time goes, we haven't had a whole lot of missing time. Uh, when you see missing time, generally speaking, you're going to see like an anomaly like that start to present itself. Solar wind speeds, the most I seen was 700 something, but I didn't see any missing time for this ball up. It's just normal expulsion of the plasma energy. We did have one up here at 2143. See 2143, we get something going on here. And then it jumps to 2205, and then you have the big discharge. So there's some missing time there. There's been a few like 20-second gaps here and there. And I'll leave the link below in the description box, so hopefully you can pull up this entire run and you can go in here and do just what I'm doing right now, playing with the time dragger. And here's the 4 o'clock yesterday. Remember we had like 4 hours missing time? Well, it didn't happen at 4, but it happened at 6, 6:38, 48, and it jumps to 8:34. So we had an event that happened there. So I'll try to sync this back up and let this play through. So you can just watch it. There we go. And like I said, the best thing to do is to get familiar with this stuff is just go in and mess around with it yourself. And I'll put the links to the Discover. Put the Ace up there too, but this one's really a lot better. They're both in the same place. Lagrange point 1. L1 Lagrange point, which I showed you here on this solar ham tutorial. There's the L1 Lagrange point. That's where the Discover and the Ace satellites are parked. About 930,000 miles in front of the Earth, between the Earth and the Sun. And of course, the Sun's 93 million miles from the Earth, so this is certainly not the scale. This diagram here. But anyway, this is what the Discover and the Ace satellite read, all the stuff coming from the Sun. And then I put up the tutorial here. You can look at, this is great for space weather to understand what you're seeing on these Ace or Discover graphs. Go in and read that. Okay, here's Discover. As you can see, here we have the solar wind in purple, and if you drag the cursor along, it gives you the time. Up at the top, you can see the time showing, and then you can see the numbers for solar wind speed going along here, and of course the time appears down there. So we're starting like at 1400 UTC yesterday, and it's starting to climbs up to over 5, even up 520, 527. So we did have some limited impact from solar wind coming from our sun. But look at these phi angles. This is the interplanetary magnetic field line that you see on the ISWA, on the WICOT, the blue one. Look how crazy it is. And if you read that solar ham tutorial that I just showed you, you'll see that the phi angle, if it's at 180, that means it's a direct connect from the sun to the earth. If it's at 0, that's a direct connect from the earth to the sun. So there shouldn't be anything above 180. So as you can see here, it's like jumping all around. We're up to 290, 365. So there's definitely something behind, a solar body behind the earth that we're connecting to, which of course, this is just more proof. You can see it from all this pressure and so forth. Then it seemed to quiet down around 0600 UTC today, so a little after midnight, and it went back to a normal between Earth and Sun connection. So here's what I'm talking about, these phi angles. The IMF blue lines, we should have about 9, since we have 9 planets and 1 sun normally. But now that we have 2 suns and maybe 7 more planets with the Nemesis Nibiru system, we got a ton of more of these interplanetary magnetic field lines showing up. And they get jumbled all up in here. I mean, and there's so many of them. Look at all of them. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is this ain't right. So that's about it for today. I'll let this play through for you real quick. And like I said, I'll post those links. And you can do your own investigation. Okay, God bless. Thanks for listening. Maybe I'll make one later today. I'll check, see what's going on. Check out the MLSO. If you saw the one from last night, you can see that they're cutting way back on what they're showing us, but they left us something up there that was totally anomalous to what we have been seeing. So I would suggest checking out that video from last night. And that's about it. God bless, peace, and I'm out.